Hi, this is Rick Maurer. Hey, last week I talked about the importance of space, and I used a line from a Kay Ryan poem, which is, "It takes a courageous person to leave spaces empty." I really like that, and I think that advice really fits for us in the world of work. Too often, I've seen presentations, and I probably have delivered some, where there were way too much information, way too many slides, way too many points, way too many stories. And I think it's important to have ways of looking at the use of space as space actually facilitating what's happening. And I'll be using examples from a lot of different types of situations. In fact, I'll be talking about the famous comedian Groucho Marx and what he did to buy time. But today I'd like to talk about Joe Montana. Joe Montana was a quarterback with the San Francisco Giants. This is a football team, the American version of football. And he had this capacity when he would get the ball. The purpose of getting the ball is to get it down the field. And it would be like he had all the time in the world. And he could stand there and he could look and he could see that, oh, yeah, there's a receiver over there. Oh, maybe I could run through that hole there. Oh, there's a receiver way over there, almost out of my field of vision. And then he would do what he's going to do, pass or run the ball. Now, he happened to have a good line. Those are the people in front of him. And so they did a lot to protect him. Nevertheless, when you get the ball, that's a signal for some very big people to come at you. They got a lot of muscle, and what they want to do is knock you down as quickly as they possibly can. And that causes stress. So I've seen other quarterbacks who play for good teams. They have a good line there supporting them. They get really nervous. They get the ball and they've got to do something instantly. Probably had to make the decision just as quickly as the others, but he handled it differently. It's almost as if, and I think I've read this, where his mind just goes blank. It's a real meditative kind of thing. And that allows you to see not only this receiver who you were hoping was your primary receiver, that person way over there, that when you're stressed, your field of vision gets pretty tiny. And so he could choose that. And he was very famous. He's still around, by the way. He's retired, but he's around. He was one of the pre-game honorees at the Super Bowl this month. At any rate, I think having him in mind can be a very helpful thing. What can I do in a situation? Let's say I'm making a presentation, and maybe it's an informal presentation. What can I do to make sure there's enough space so that people can actually get in, that they can actually go, oh, yeah, hey, what about this? What about that? And if we're talking all the time, or our slides are so loaded with information, there's no space for people to engage. When my book, Beyond the Wall of Resistance, came out just about 30 years ago, I was giving a presentation at a conference, and I had an hour. And I didn't know these people, and it was in a city where I thought, I probably am not going to get back to here for a while. And a guy came up afterwards and said, Rick, could I give you some advice? And I said, yeah, sure. And he said, I think you had good stuff to say, but there was so much of it that I got tired and I got lost. And I said, it's like you're trying to give us the whole book in an hour. And I said, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. And he said, no, please don't do that. Just pick 2, maybe 3 things that you think would be really helpful for us, and then go into depth. And you tell good stories, so tell a couple stories about those things. He said, then I can walk away with something I can remember and maybe use. That advice has served me well. Okay. So just at the start, I just take out a lot of stuff. I know it's hard. I think Faulkner talked about it's hard to edit because these are my little darlings. When I write a speech, those are my little darlings. Oh, that story. Oh, their life will be incomplete if they don't hear that wonderful story about me as a child. No, that's just not true. At any rate, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what works for you. How do you provide the space that allows you to keep your head on straight and allows other people to join you in the conversation? And I would love to get your comments on LinkedIn, and very soon I'm going to be setting up Substack to do exactly the same thing. But at any rate, hope this is helpful. Thanks a lot.